Hey traders! Due to lots of people asking us about the difference between YouTube Weekly Forex Forecast and the Sunday sessions, we have decided to share with you our last Sunday sessions recording where we have discussed all the pairs in detail. Remember, this is just one time only for you to see the difference and it won't be posted again on YouTube. At We Trade Waves, we are two partners. My name is Alan and the other partner's name is T, who is conducting Sunday sessions. Now I will let you watch the recording.
Right, fantastic. Let's get started now. So first of all, we have few other, actually many people joined last week as well. So just for you guys who are new here for the first week, my name is T, as you all must know from the YouTube as well now. What we do, the process, the way we actually run this session is we go through the red list, which is a YouTube list. Here, as you can see, these are all the YouTube page that we go through. And then we have, okay, why is it not working for me? Okay. And then we go through the purple list. This is where you see all the website pairs would be in here, right? And then we have a green list where if there is any request from you guys, just put them down. I'm reading all your chats. If you have any specific question regarding any of the pairs, do let me know, and I'm more than happy to go through that and give you answers, okay? But please do not ask what is the entry, what is the exit, when you should take profit. If I'm saying that to you, take partial profit at this point, I'm afraid that's the maximum I can actually give it to you here, okay? So please do not go through and ask me those questions. How do you draw trend lines? How do you draw trends? I'm more than happy to go through and show you the bigger picture. If you are looking for a structure, I'm more than happy to go through in depth for you, okay? But if you have a specific question at what point you should enter and what point you should be having your stop loss, that's not the right, session for it, okay? So I hope that, that makes more sense, because this is not a signal service, guys, okay? So what I'm actually expecting all of you to see from here, what we are expecting you to understand, and then go there, do your analysis, and then trade using your own system. It's only the point of view that we are actually trying to share with you here, okay? So for example, for DXY, let's go back to DXY. So as you can see here, last week we were expecting DXY to go down first and then go back up. So our arrow was up till here, and then after that, from this point in time, we were expecting, because there we had a news NFP, and then we were expecting market to actually react towards it and then give us sort of an up move here, and then for the rest of the day, sort of correction here, and then push up again the next week here, right? But instead, it just keeps going down here, and then started doing something like this here, okay? So these sort of stuff that, you need to keep an eye on. Remember, we were expecting first down move to finish and then go back up, because the expectation was to actually for the NFP to push it up, okay? John T, I cannot attend this whole session. Could you talk about theta, please? I will watch the recording later. Sure, John, I will try my best. If not, then put it down on Slack, and then I'm more than happy to, go through that with you later on, okay? Right. So like I said to you, it was, yeah, so we were expecting a down move here, and then at some point during the NFP, we were expecting probably if the NFP result will come in the favor of the structure, then market would actually start to reverse in here, okay? But instead, market keeps going down here and it never reversed, right? So remember, if you are in the cells, you should not force your buy in this, okay? That's where the real sense of direction comes in, that we were expecting market to go down first and then go back up. Remember, at the end of the day, it's the time factor as well you need to take in notice, that when the time is ready for the trade to go back in the direction, that's when it's going to go. Otherwise, it's going to waste the time for the rest of the days of the week, and then it's going to move probably either the next week or when we have a big fundamental news coming in, okay? So this is just only sort of a tip for you guys. When you are expecting a reversal in that direction, that's what you would be expecting, okay? Right. Now, next week, what we are expecting, after this, we were expecting a push up here to reverse all the way up here, right? But the way it is at the moment, it does not look like it's going to go back up as yet. It's probably going to go back during the week. First, it's going to go back one more down here, then go back up here, and then probably correction, one more up, correction, and then up. Okay, what we are expecting, we are not interested in this one more down here. Okay, let me repeat it again. We are not interested in this down move again here, because structurally we are ready to go back up one more time, right? Let me show you a bigger structure. This might actually make more sense for most of you who are actually here to look for the sense of direction. Okay, so the sense of direction would be something like this here. Let me hide all this. So you'd see here what we are expecting in this structure, right? For us, let me go to daily. That will make more sense. Right. So for us, if we are expecting market to go back up here, what we are expecting is the completion of this corrective structure here. Okay, for us, this is not a complete corrective structure. This is not a complete corrective structure for us. We are expecting this to go back up here, either slowly or impulsively, right, to complete the corrective structure before we go back down here. But if you know that you are a swing trader and you want to keep your trade for a long term, you should wait for this to finish. This up move probably is going to take a month or half a month, right? And then after that, when it's ready for a one more down, this will go back down. Next year, we are expecting this dollar DXY to go back down further. In the bigger picture, this needs to go back down. Okay, but first it needs to complete this corrective structure before it pushes down here. Okay, we are expecting, like I mentioned last week as well, we are expecting DXY to go below 85 in the future. Okay, probably in the mid of next year, it will be, that's what we are expecting. But first we need to have a completion of this before we go back down. It can go up to this level, it can go all the way up to this level or to this level before it goes back down. Does not matter, right? But what we are seeing at the moment is, if market gives us a buy setup from here, we would take it and keep moving our stops, because remember, we can always give a corrective structure here for one more push down and then go back up again before it comes back down, right? So it does not change the bigger picture. But if you are actually keep moving your stop here and the market goes back down here, your worst case scenario would be break even, okay, or a small profit. And then if it goes back down to break the low one more time, we would again look for our buy setup, because structurally we know that we need to get something, to complete this bigger structure. Okay, hope that makes sense. If there is any sort of queries regarding this one, I'm more than happy to answer to you, and go in more details about it. Okay, but for us, like I said to you, we need to see something bigger upwards here before we actually sell it more. Okay, for now, we have taken all ourselves out last week as soon as we updated our charts on TradingView. Right now, we are just looking for buy setups, even though we see that it can one more time go back down to break the low, but we don't want to take the risk on that. Okay, because when the market has given you this much of a profit or this much of a profit, you want to take the profit. Okay, and bank that profit. Remember, at the end of the day, the thing that does matter to you is your capital is secure. Okay, and your profit is growing exponentially, right? If you're seeing that there is no gain in your capital, what you would do, you would psychologically go down if you lose one trade or get 2 to 3 break evens. Okay, so this is very important in terms of your psychology as well, right? That if market is giving you profits, take partial profits out, take 50% off, leave the 50%. If you're 100% even sure, take the 50% out, leave the 50% on. That 50% that you have taken out as a profit would actually help you increase and strengthen your psychology, because when you are actually going in depth into the next move, if that move reverses against you, at least you would have already made 50%, right? And then you can trade that 50% and in the next trade. That's how you should be trading in the market. Okay, right, guys, let me read your questions. I can see that there are so many questions already. Hi T, can you show us the pattern on each pair you forecast, at least a hint of a pattern that you see? Yes, Michael, I will try and go in depth for you guys, probably to the daily, because if we go in each of the patterns, bigger patterns, then trust me, this session will be 4 hours plus. Okay, so I will try my best. Can the recorded be available for 5 days from Monday to Friday? Martin, that's not going to be possible. It's only available for 2 days, I'm afraid, at this instance. Hi T, nice meeting you. Nice meeting you too, Zanoni. Okay, hi team, as always, what pair we are focusing on this week. Thanks. Yes, so Raj will let you know at the end of this session, please discuss euro dollar. Yes, we'll do that. Can you, okay, please, I will have to watch the video. Please, can you do analysis for boom and crash index? Okay, I have to watch the recording later because I have a meeting right now. Thanks. Sure, Daniel will try and do that. Boom and crash. Okay. What percentage of time is your prediction directional right? What percentage of time turn around when you predict? Angad, I think last time you asked the same question. I did mention it to you that so when you're actually trying, remember, we do not look for our direction and then say that, okay, 70% of the time we are right in the market, right? So what we are telling people, if somebody's asking, that's what we are claiming, that more than 70% of the time, our prediction goes in our direction, right? So if we have 20 pairs that we are, telling you on YouTube, let's just take this one, right? Altogether during the week, we have, more than 50 plus pairs that we, analyze for people. So let's just take 20 pairs. Out of 20 pairs, if market is giving us 14 pairs every week on average, right, going in our direction, right, that means we are already above 65%. Okay, so that's how you should do that. Do not believe us, just go through all the charts, go through all the YouTube videos and see, and judge yourself, right? Go back and see what the market has done when we said it will do this. Okay, this will actually give you a better indication instead of me actually saying to you that we are more than 70% right. Okay, remember, this is, in this market, it's the high probability chance. All what you can do is to make consistency confirmed for your trades, you need to follow your systems. Okay, guys, remember, even if we give you signals like buy here, sell here, still I guarantee you cannot make money if you have no rules, no system, and no strategy of your own, and you're not following your own analysis. Okay, and this is the beauty of this business, that even if you get a course, even if, unless you have interaction with people who are actually consistently making money and who can actually support you when you're down. Okay, remember, we, out of 4 people as well, like, when we see that, sometime market is not actually giving us what we expect it to do, it's a human nature, right? You get weaker in your psychology, and that's when you actually, you start to read. Okay, and that's what we would recommend you as well, that if you are really keen to make this business as your permanent income, then you need to work hard. Okay, and that's the only answer for the consistency in this business, that you need to work hard. Heidi, I request you to park oil in red. HP, yes, we'll try and do that going forward. Next week, I'll try and put oil into red as well. What's the purpose for having video for 2 days only? Martin, that the video is only for people who are actually, not be able to join this session. We weren't going to record the videos in the first place. The only reason we started doing the recording is because many people have a different time zones in their country at the moment, right? Some people have 2 a.m. at the moment. So that's the reason we are giving them sort of, this chance to actually see them if they cannot attend live. Okay, so that was the whole point, not to give like during the week what you should be doing. So if you see within the first 2 weeks, market will give you some sort of analysis, and then after that, if you're still going back to the video, that means you're actually not understanding the direction. You're going back and checking what sort of the signal that WeTrade Waves have given me. Okay, so this is sort of a psychological thing that we are actually trying to do for you guys, that we want you to be independent at the same time. Okay, so take the sense of direction from us, but at the end of the day, when you see the market is moving up and down, it's not going to help you. Remember, for the first 2 days, if the market is behaving the way we expect it to behave, you would probably get 70% of the time, you're taking take profit hit within, within Tuesday, Wednesday, right? If it's not doing that, that means something is actually changing in the structure, and then we will let you know in the coming week. Okay. Can you please let us know about the pullback takes? Okay, you have a particular example that you want me to look at for the pullbacks, because pullbacks could be different ways of looking at. If you're looking for a daily pullback, if you're looking at a 1 hourly or 4 hourly, it's entirely different. So maybe, perhaps just giving an example of what pair that you're expecting the pullbacks, and then I can go and have a look at it for you. I bang on gold and oil last week. It was tremendous. Thanks, both of you. No worries. Thanks, HP. I'm glad you have made great money. Hi, team. You Please go through Euro New Zealand and Pound New Zealand. Yes, Becky will definitely do that. I'm underwater on Euro Dollar from 1-1. Any chance I can come out on break even, or should I close my sell trade now? Stephen, let's look at a Euro Dollar. Okay. So as I mentioned, for dollar DXY, we are expecting DXY anytime now. If you're in the sells, you should take 70 to 80% off. Okay. If you haven't taken it yet, make sure when market goes back down here or pulls back, on a 1 hourly or 4 hourly, take the trade 70% off, right? And leave the 30% in case if market keeps pushing down here before it starts to go for a bigger corrected structure here. Okay. So next week, we are expecting dollar to reverse very soon. But remember, you do not need to force your trade. Okay. If you cannot see a buy setup, do not just go blindly and buy it as soon as the market opens. Okay. Let me warn you here. We are in a strong downtrend. Okay. We are in a strong downtrend, not only on 4 hourly, we are in a downtrend in daily, weekly, and even monthly. Okay. So that is the reason you would not expect us to actually, just go and blindly buy this. So wait for the structure, wait for your risk to reward. If you're getting into the trade, first of all, anyone who's in here, you should actually go and back test your pair. Okay, back test your pair, like, how this pair is performing. And then you need to actually trade your pair. You just need one pair to make consistent money. Believe me on that. Okay. Right. I'm underwater on. Let's have a look at Euro Dollar now. So you said you're underwater from 1.19. Okay. Yes. So next week, Stephen, we can see that market pushing up slowly here, right? Breaking the top one more time here, and then after that, coming back down sharp. Okay. So to answer to your question, first of all, I'm not sure what was your stop loss, right? If your stop loss, you haven't put the stop loss, but eventually we're expecting next week, our direction would be to the downside. Okay. That's where the direction would be. If market comes back down next week, it starts to go back down next week. Yes, you will be most probably getting a break even or even a small profit even. Okay. So because it was not your trade, that's why I always tell people that because you haven't got the the idea of the trade, you didn't plan for the trade, and trade went in against your direction, you should probably take your trade out on a small loss or on a break even, right? Even though we know that is going to go probably further down even, right? But you should be waiting for the next trade after you get out of that trade for a small loss or a break even. Okay. Otherwise, it's going to meddle with your psychology and you won't be able to keep hold of the trade. And if that trade goes back down here, you would try to take wrong decisions in other trades. Okay. So that's sort of things messes up your psychology. Do not get yourself into these sort of trades. When you're wrong in something, get the hell out. Simple as that. And you should have actually a set risk that you are actually, before you're setting the risk before you enter into the trade. Okay. That's the most important thing. The guys, why I'm actually mentioning these stuff more and more today is because I do not want you to actually just go and blindly buy and sell when we say it. Okay. You need to understand that there is a risk factor in this. In any business, you name any business, when you inject your capital in it, you wouldn't have to have risk assessment. You need to do your due diligence before you actually inject your hard-earned money in that. Okay. So you need to make sure that when you see that the market is actually going in, changing that direction, right? It's not only something that you can change it in 1 hourly candle. Okay. There is a directional change. So if market keeps going up from here, right, from October, and now we are expecting market to come back down here. So this probably could be a pullback, or it could be a very sharp move down. That's what you will know when the market is performing and unfolding the structure. But we are expecting a down move. So to answer to your question, Stephen, yes, you can get the break even next week. But if market pulls sharp here, right, even if it pulls sharp here, you need to know that what is the maximum risk that you can sustain in this move here. Okay. But we are expecting market to come back down next week. So pound dollar, let me go through the daily structure and in this one as well, because some people would like to see the bigger structures. So in terms of the bigger structure, guys, we have few structures in this structure going up. We could be going up here for a expanding flat for one more push up again, right? And then come back down here for a bigger corrective before it goes back up. Or we could actually be going back down one more time here, complete this as your corrective structure against this, and then we'll be going back up again one more time. Okay, but in all the cases, what we are expecting next would be something minimum like this here. Let me go to 4 hourly. Something like this here, okay, minimum, before we go back up. But if it keeps going up here, that's not our trade. Any up move here after this would potentially be a last move up. So you don't want to get stuck in that. Remember, that's what we do. I will show you what we meant, when we are not actually injecting money for a buy or for a sell, even though we see that the market has a tendency for one more push up. Okay, because you don't want to get stuck and then later on regret that why did you even get in here, right? Because it makes you frustrated. I'll give you an example. Since we are here, let me give you an example here. So New Zealand CAD, do you guys remember that? I've been holding you all that do not enter into the buy, even though we see that the market keeps pushing up, keep pushing up, keep pushing up, right? And we did mention it to that after 3rd of December, look for your sell setups in this, right? So why do you think after 3rd, which is the 4th of December, market fell down, right? So that's what I'm trying to tell you here, that it took from here to here 17 days, right? And then came back down in literally 1.5 days. Why do you think it happened? Because that's where market is actually manipulating the retail traders. They want all of you to get in and think that this is going to heaven, right? But instead, what will happen? You will enter exactly at this point for a buy, and the market will come out here against you in a in a matter of few hours. Okay, and then you would be thinking, okay, what the hell happened, right? You would try and sell this one, thinking that okay, I will actually put myself on a hedging trade, right? Then what will happen? It will actually go back up correction here. Then you're actually, and it sometime does something like this here, goes up deeper correction before it shoots back down here, because this is a psychological factor. When market is going against you, if you actually entered for a sell here, as soon as market goes above 50% of this move here, right, psychologically your internal feelings will start to actually jump in and you will start to panic. Okay, that's how we humans are created. Okay, so that's why you need to know first what is the break-even point for you in your brain when the market is going to go in against my direction, and I will start to panic. And when you start to panic here, what you would do, you would actually try either take this trade off, thinking that okay, I will go and take the break even of this one, or actually this is going all the way up, which I was thinking before, right? And then exactly at this point, market will shoot back down here, and now you are in the loss. You have already realized the loss here. You are already in the loss here, which is double the loss in here, and psychologically you are actually so frustrated that you would just be thinking that this thing doesn't bloody work. Okay, so that's how they play with you guys. So you need to be very clever before you get into this. Right, so coming back to the euro dollar, like I said to you, any up move after this would potentially be a last move up, and we would not be expecting any sort of further movement, something like this, right? If something like this happened here, that's a totally different story, but we are not expecting at this point in time. Even if it does happen, we are not interested. Simple as that. Okay, that would just potentially be manipulation move, and then we don't want to be a part of that. Okay, so if you're in the buys from these levels, last week we did say to you that we are expecting market to give us a corrective structure here for one more push up. It did go back up again from here. If you were entered with us last week, you should actually take at least 80 to 90% off in this one. Okay, even though we know that even if you haven't done that, let the market open, go back up one more time here. It can or it cannot. It doesn't have to go and break the top one more time. It can start to cool down from here only. Okay, so any sell setup from here we will probably get in and then keep moving our stops. Right, that was okay. Hello T, please teach us how to be aggressive and how to maximize a winning trade. I've seen good moves, but I'm only risking small. Ladipu, it depends entirely on how you are actually risking and how much you're risking. You cannot just maximize your winning trade just by risking big. Okay, there is a few other ways to actually do that. If you know this direction, we are here to help you with that direction. Okay, use your system, and then when you see a corrective structure, add on to it. Okay, when you see a corrective structure, add on to it, and that's how you can do it. But it takes time. Remember, if you have just started doing this sort of stuff, and then you are being profitable, forget about exponentially increasing your profits for at least 6 to 7 months. Make your psychology so firm that you cannot panic for 1 or 2 trades going against you. Okay, so that's what you should be focusing on more, that consistency of your trades in a month. If I have 10 winning trades, if I'm making 10%, right, let's say, if I get 5 losses in here, and that 5 losses, how these losses I can control. That should be your target at the moment. If these 5 losses, can I reduce them to 4 losses? Read those losses, right? Research about these, make a journal of these, and then only when you are, reduce this one 5 by 50% to either 3 or 2, that's when you should be thinking about maximizing this 10%. Okay. Hope that makes sense. Please, can you analyze New Zealand yen and Aussie yen? Yes, we'll do that. I see DXY June forecast amazing. Thank you, Yusuf. Can you see New Zealand going down this week, down to 600 level? Thanks a lot. Ajahn, let's have a look. Understand now. Thanks, Martin. HPT, hope your training went great. Request both of you to think twice to us, as we are inclination to learn. Please think to make us part of you with a little flexibility in your course. HP, we have, believe me on that, we have plenty of emails every week asking exactly the same thing. We are actually thinking, okay, I'm genuinely telling you, we are thinking at the moment, and most probably next year we'll bring up something for you, which is a bit more affordable for those who cannot afford. But remember, obviously, because it will be cheaper, so we will be probably bringing something different. Okay, so wait for the next year. So for this year, we are just going to wait until the end of the year, because Christmas is around now, within few weeks, and then after that we'll come back again and we'll let you guys know. Okay, so please wait for it now. So if you're able to explain a brief which time frame is good to trade pullbacks. So pullbacks, it depends on what structure you are trading. I can't see your name, 695-214. So if you're trading a pullbacks, I would suggest you to go for a bigger time frame. Okay, do not go for smaller time frames. And you need to first of all know what sort of a trader you are. If you are a day trader, then yes, you can go for a 4-hourly trades pullbacks or 1-hourly pullbacks. But if you are a swing trader, you should not be going for a pullbacks. You should be going for a structure. Okay, so pullbacks is for those people who are either scalpers or day traders. Thanks. Hi T. Hi Shaquille. Why did pound dollar went up last week, last push, as you said on YouTube? Let's go through that one, Angad, and we'll explain that to you. Why did it go back up? So pound dollar, we said last week that will be going back up to break the top, right? Go back and check it. I did mention it to you that it will be going back up to break the top. It did go and break the top. And then after that, if you're thinking that every time it breaks the top and it has to go back down, you're wrong, right? Never ever think like that. And I was mentioning last week as well to someone that if by breaking the top or the bottom, you can make money, trust me, everybody will be millionaire by now. Okay, it doesn't work like that. So if next week it goes back up 100 pips more, what will you do? No one can stop this market, right? Potentially after breaking this top here, we are ready to go down. Okay, that's what we meant. And that's what I mentioned last week as well. Okay, on YouTube, we did mention that any potential up would be a last potential up. The reason why we said that is because remember, on YouTube, we need to tell you as a weekly structure, right? During the week, if market goes back up here to break the top, and then on, let's say, Thursday, market started to give us a sell setup from here, we would be taking the sell as well during the week after this any last push. But on the Sunday session, if you were present in the last Sunday session, I did specifically mention that wait for this to break the top here. Okay, I said the same thing for euro, I said the same thing for Aussie dollar, I said the same thing for pound dollar. Okay, and all of them have actually during the week has broken the tops, right? When we'll go through them, we'll see them in detail as well. Okay, so if you are looking for your sell setup now is the time to take the buy off. Okay, if you would have entered for a buy from these levels, or these levels, that's the time to take out the buys, because now we are expecting market to go back down. We have a Brexit news coming on over the weekend. I won't be surprised if market actually opens up here or here. It doesn't matter. During the week, it's going to go back down. Whether it starts here, whether it starts here, doesn't matter. Okay? Because structurally, now we are ready to go back down. Let me show you the bigger picture now in here, why we are expecting this to go down. Bear with me, guys. Let me just drink some water. Right. Let's go to the weekly. Right. Remember, what we are expecting for the next whole year, we are expecting pound to go back up. The whole year, 2021, we are expecting pound to go up. Okay. Probably above 1.45. Okay. But for now, it's not enough for us to go back up. Okay. The weight is going up at the moment here. This is not enough. We need to see something to tell me that, okay, I'm correcting this move here before I go back up again, right? Because this correction is going to be accumulation of all those people who are going to buy big for the next whole year. Okay. Even if this whole month, it doesn't go down, it won't surprise me, right? Because at the end of the day, we are looking for a bigger structure. We would be either going down one more time here to go back up here. We could go back down here to go back up from here. We could actually start a bigger corrective structure here for one more push up again, right? In all the cases, what we are expecting, all the directions are towards down first, right? So this is your first move. Remember, we are on a weekly structure. When we are saying we are on a weekly structure, we are expecting market to actually go back downwards for the next few months, right? So this is the reason what we are expecting now is after this break, we are structurally ready. Everybody in our group, when we were going through practicals and stuff, we were actually mentioning them that we need to go back up to break the top here, right? And the market at that time, I think it was somewhere here, around here, at this point or this point, I think, if I'm not mistaken, right? So why we were expecting, that's a different story. But like I said to you, I showed you now that we were expecting at the break of this, we are expecting a down move. Whether Brexit happens or doesn't happen, you will see that the market will be giving you a corrective structure here before it goes back up. If it goes back up sharp from here, right, we will not be, and we are gladly, stay away from the market. At the moment, last week, we took all our buys off, and now we are actually waiting for ourselves because that's where the structure is ready for us to give us a down move. Now, if this goes back up 200 pips, doesn't matter, right? That's just an extension in this wave. It needs to come back down. Who says it can stop here, here, here? When there is a possibility like this, you should not risk your hard-earned money, guys, okay? Because remember, you have made this money through a hard work. Why? The reason why you are injecting that into this capital, into this business is because you wanted to grow this, right? But if you do not know what is going to happen, this is just only gambling. You do not do gambling here, right? So this is the reason when you don't know when it's going to reverse from here, here, or here, you stay away from it and wait for the setup. You don't need to force your setups on this, okay? And remember, when it's ready, it's going to give you your setup if you know exactly when to enter into this, okay? So this is a bigger structure, like I said to you. What we are expecting is market to give us down move here on for the next 2-3 months, and then after that go back up again, right? And this up, do not miss this. When it's ready, in these Sunday sessions, I will be explaining that to you, that once market has completed this corrective structure, we'll be going back up again. And all of you should be in this buy, and the whole next year, we all will be buying this, okay? I cannot tell you where exactly we'll be buying this, but we will be buying this when we see a structure, but we will be letting you know the directions, okay, very soon when we see, and in detail, we can go through in the Sunday session. Do not expect us to go through the same on YouTube, okay? Right, so like I said to you, next week, we are expecting a down move. Anytime market gives us a corrective structure here, we will be going for a sell setup, right? So as of today, it does not look like it's going to go back down from here. It can, right? Because we have a news over the weekend. So if market opens up, here or here, it doesn't matter, right? Because at the end of the day, even if it goes back up here, it's probably going to come back down again during the week or the week after, okay? So it's just going to be a manipulative move to take all the retail traders out who actually sold it already, thinking that this would happen over the weekend. They will take them out all because their stop loss would be probably above this. They would take all of you out, and then after that, move the market. And then you'd be thinking, what the hell happened, right? So that's what you need to focus on next week. do not force your trades, guys. Okay, if you had a great year, if you had a great month or a great week, always wait for the right trade. Okay, remember, all what you need to double your account is a 6% monthly profit to double your account in 1 year. Okay, so I don't think this is too difficult for any of you. Okay, if you're actually trading sensibly. Right. Heidi, can I suggest that we complete a list of currency pairs and then answer questions so that it is more productive for everyone? Good question, Will. Thank you very much. Let me go through that one. That's a good suggestion. Just after this answer, for the next one, it's really important for all of you, right? So that's why I would like to answer this one. Do you have another class with trade signals also, right? Kumar, we do not have any other class with the trade signals, and we do not intend to actually, sell signals. Okay. The reason why we do not do that, because we believe in, independent, successful trader making, right? So if tomorrow, if let's say something happens and, God forbid, we are not here, you would suffer because you would be expecting a signals from us, right? We do not want that. Start and focus your whole power and your concentration on learning knowledge. Okay, and you wouldn't need anyone, not even us. Okay, thank you. So let me go through the red list first, guys, and then answer your queries. Will has a great suggestion because most of the people, they are here just only for this list. I don't want to waste your time, so let me go through this list quickly. Right, Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar, last week we said that we are expecting a corrected structure here and then push up. That was the corrected structure here, and we expected a push up, right? This push up was expected. The reason why, because we did mention last time that we need to go and break this top before actually market goes back down, right? Now, if market gives us any sell setup now, we have taken all our buys off in this one as well. Okay, now we are looking for our sell setups on the bigger scale. We are looking for a bigger corrected structure here. Remember, this structure can potentially go all the way down here before it goes back up, right? Then you will have this corrected structure for one more push up, right? But now the reason why we are not suggesting at this point in time is because we could potentially have a one more push down before it goes back up and then go back down here, right? Now, if you are expecting this to go back down here, this is still going to be 2 to 300 pips move, something like this. Okay, so you don't want to miss that. That's the reason next week we are expecting market to go back down, and from here that can potentially go all the way down even if market keeps pushing down with the momentum. Okay, so that's what you should be looking at. If you're in the buys, now is the time to take at least 80 to 90% off and wait for the rest, for this to actually push up and then come back down, right? This does not have to do that. If market gives you a sell setup, looking for your sells with a very, very small risk. Remember, we are in an uptrend at the moment, strong uptrend, right? So if you're trading against the trend, always try and risk small for the first position, okay, before you go in for the bigger one. Okay, so look for your sells next week when they're ready. Do not force it. As of today, it does not look like it's ready. It looks like one more push up to break the top before it comes back down. Okay, as per this structure. Now, dollar yen. So this is what happens. You see, guys, these sort of things we cannot explain on YouTube. And that is the reason, we started this Sunday session. One, to actually, for those people who can't afford the course. And second of all, to explain our point of view in detail, because during the week, if we see something happen like this, we cannot explain that on YouTube because it will actually confuse a lot of people, right? And also, many people are actually, misunderstanding when we are saying something. They are giving up and down, that's not a big deal, right? It is a massive deal when you know exactly when to enter, right? And that is the reason when last week market was here, we said to you that wait for this to go back up. And when the market comes back to break this top here, put it to break even, right? That was my exact words, because after that, we can expect this to go back down before it goes back up, right? And that's exactly what market did. If you would have listened to me and you were in these Sunday sessions, you would have actually either made small profit or that would have been your break even, the worst case scenario, right? So this is the reason, guys, you need to be consistently coming on to these sessions if you want to really make consistent money in these businesses and you're really serious about this, okay? Next week, we are expecting this to go back up here. The structure at this point in time could become complex. Okay, we have this structure that can become complex for one more push down before it goes back up, and it can actually go back down to break the low even before it goes back up. Okay, so next week, if you're not in this already, if you're in the cells from here and you're still holding the cells, then it's fine. You need to keep still holding the trade and then put it to break even, right? But if you're not in the cells or not in the buys, wait. Because next week we're expecting this to go back up here. It can go back up to break the top one more time and potentially go to break this top even, right? We need to see how sharp this goes back up here. But as of today, it's not looking like it's going to go back up, okay? It looks like it's going to correct here, one more push up, then come back down before it goes back up, okay? So this is sort of a structures you want to stay away from and then focus on the rest of the pairs, okay? New Zealand dollar. Now, New Zealand dollar, we are expecting New Zealand dollar to behave in such a manner here, okay? And you all must have seen that we drew this line here, okay? This line. And this line has not still yet broken, right? Let the market break this sharp, okay? Let the market, that's the only tip I can give it to you here, that let the market break this sharp. You should have all this, all of you should have this line on your charts, and then wait for this to break down, okay? Once this breaks down, right? And it's not only the breakdown that we are expecting, like something like this, pierce and then go back up again. No, don't wait for this to, like, you know, just pierce it because you're so impatient. Don't do that. Wait for this to go sharp down here, okay? Break this sharp, then only look for yourselves. If not, stay away. Still, I'm saying stay away from this because structurally, it can actually look like this might actually end up being a corrective structure for one more push up here, right? My expectation for this pair would be some sort of corrective structure, one more push up here, and then from here, this level, go back down, right? But the reason why we are saying this to go back down here, that it structurally can go back down. I showed you the bigger structure last month as well, last week as well, that this is structurally ready to go back down, right? But internally, it can keep extending, and keep taking you out. So looking for yourselves is a great, but if you're really keen to sell this one, I would rather sell either pound dollar, or I would rather sell euro dollar, or I'd rather sell, you know, probably some other pairs in these ones, right? When I'll take you through, okay? So keep an eye on this one. But like I said to you, if you are really keen to sell this one, wait, okay? Wait for this to break this down sharp, right? Like how New Zealand CAD has broken this down sharp, okay? That's what you want to see in this move here, okay? And it will eventually happen, believe me on that, whether it happens from here or whether it happens after the top and then coming back down here, right? So expect this to have a reaction, right? Every time market breaks the top, you would see a reaction now going forward, okay? So from next week onwards, every time market breaks this top here, you would see a reaction. You will see the price action. Probably market will show you reaction, price action here, then come back down, go back up again a price action here, right? And then price action here, and then shoot back down here. That's what is the expectations at the moment until market breaks this sharp, okay? Right, gold. Last week we did mention, actually the week before even we mentioned that guys wait for December to start and then start to, you know, accumulate these buys here, right? So gold has started going up here. Last week it has actually gone back up from here to all the way here. I think it was more than 50 points move here. So if you were in the buys, just either take 50% off. The reason why we are saying 50% off is because you don't want to actually keep, like I said to you, you need to keep increasing your capital, right? This is a human psychology. You need to see something increasing in your account in order to give you confidence in your system, right? So if you're in the buys, even though we know that it's going to go back up, wait for this to give you a corrective structure for one more push up again next week, okay? So this is coming back down first before it goes back up again, right? This is going to be a pullback, right? Before it goes back up. If you're a day trader, you will wait for the trade pullback and then you enter again one more time, right? If you're a swing trader, you should be in the buy and then you should be on the risk-free trade at the moment, right? Because market has already given you 50 points in your favor already, right? The right thing at the moment is to take 50% profit out, leave the 50% in, wait for this to correct here, inject that rest of the 50% profit that you made, gain that 50% again, right? So that's how you actually, you know, make your profit grow in the same direction. Pound yen, we were expecting pound yen last week because the way it was going down here. We did mention that during these sessions, if you're in the cells, put it to break even, because there is an expectation of this to go back up to break the top before it goes back down again, right? It did go back up again, came back down here. So your worst case scenario in this sell from here would have been break even, right? Or a very small profit. But if you would have taken, if you're still holding the trade for a sell, next week we are expecting this to go back down here, probably to these levels, correction one more time, push up again, and then this push up again would potentially be a really good one. But it won't be probably next week, the week after, right? Next week, it looks like it's going to come back down, okay? So look for your sell setups in this one. It would be wise. Right, dollar CAD, right. Most of you must be wondering what the hell happened here, right? Because WeTrade Wave must have told us that we are looking for a buy in this one, and then the market keep pushing down here, right? Remember one thing, this is the same sort of structure. When the dollar is, we were expecting CAD movement in this one, right? Because last week, excuse me, last week we were expecting CAD pairs to CAD chief, for instance. We were expecting it to go down. It did go down, right? CAD went down. But the way CAD went down, it was not too powerful. Then the dollar has gone down. So the dollar took the dominance in this one. Okay. So that is the reason probably the market has gone down. But remember, no one is going to be right 100% ever, right? So yes, in this one, we took a loss. That's normal. That's normal in any of the businesses, right? So if you are actually already holding this trade, it's going to push back up again. Take it to the break even, and then after that, wait for this. Remember, the bigger structure, we are actually expecting the bigger structure like this here. We are expecting the bigger structure. Let me hold to go all the way down here. Okay, all the way down. So in the future, we are expecting this to go back down. But for us, this is not enough to go back down. That's the reason we are expecting this to go back up. It might actually start to go back up next year. It might start to go back up next week. It will need to go back up before it goes back down, okay? Because it needs to give us a corrective structure here. And that corrective structure has to finish before it goes back down. For us, this is not enough corrective structure for one more push down. If market gives us another corrective structure here, that changes everything, okay? And that will be actually completely different. Then we will be letting you know, okay, guys, now we are sellers, okay? But for now, we are, like I said to you, for the last week, we were expecting market to go back up from here. It did push up here, then came back down very slowly. And then, went, instead of going back up here, it went back down instead. Because remember, market tends to, give shocks to people, especially the retail traders, okay? So it will be potentially many people were having their stop losses below this, and below this even, right? They took all of you out, and now it will be going back up. But for now, like I said to you, because until dollar reverses, you should not be looking for a buy. It is going to go back up. Okay, let me repeat that again. It is going to go back up. Whether it goes up collectively now or whether it goes up sharp here and then go back down here, that's a different story. But in both the cases, we are still expecting Aussie dollar CAD to go upward before it goes back down. I showed you that we are expecting another 900 pips down move after this up move. Okay, so if you're a swing trader, probably wait for this to pull back up here and then sell it instead of buying it at the moment. Okay, but if you're a day trader, look for your buys, keep moving your stops, and then every time market goes back up, just take 50% off, leave the 50%, inject another 50 as soon as market retraces. Okay, so next week we are, like I said to you, expecting as soon as dollar reverses, you would see that the market will be reversing here as well. Okay, so that's what we need to see. Structure has changed slightly in this one. This time it does not have to go all the way up here. It can just simply go back up here and then come back down here, right? That would be more than enough for us. If market goes back up here like this, then we will be selling big time in here. Okay, but first we need to see up here. So for now, my suggestion, and for us, we will be just only waiting for this to give us a buy setup and keep moving over our stops as soon as market goes back up, right? Do not hold it thinking that, it's going to go shoot up and then, I need to keep my trade at the same stop loss. Keep moving your stop losses after every 50 pips, okay? Because this is going to move with the dollar. CAD will be having a less of an impact on that. We are expecting oil to retrace very soon here, right? Because oil is an inverse proportion to this one, right? There's a inverse correlation in these two. So that's the reason. If oil, we are expecting correction, we are expecting this to correct upwards here. Okay. Euro yen, we were expecting euro yen last week that after this we were expecting another push up here, right? And that push up would have been actually, we were expecting this to be a slightly slower push here, right? If you were in this buy here, I said to you, as soon as market goes back to break this top and this top, maybe taking profit or taking partial profit would be wise, right? This movement here was because of the rest of the one, yen has got weaker, dollar has got weaker, right? So that's why both of these pairs has actually pushed this pair with a double speed. Okay, so that's the reason. If you're in the buys already from here or from here, you should be already just keep moving your stops. Now expect this to come back down next week here, and this down move can actually come back deeper here before it goes back up again, right? We are expecting that on the bigger structure here, we are expecting this to come back up here, potentially in the future. After this corrective structure, we are expecting something similar like this here now, right? After this, one more push up here to break the top, and then we'll be going for bigger down wave. Okay, that's just a bigger corrective structure here that we are expecting before we go back up again. Okay, Pound Oz, it's a bit frustrating. It went up, came back down, went back up, and then came back down. It's exactly at the same level here. If you're in the cells from here, take 70 to 60% off and wait for this. It probably will crawl back up slowly here, go back up to break the top, again this top, and then probably push back down here. You should only be looking for your sell setups, after going back up here. Wait for this to go back, pull back up. Buying this one, well, if you want to buy it, it's entirely up to you, but be very careful with the buys, okay? Because remember, we are looking for a down move. This needs to minimum go back down to break this low and this low, minimum, okay? So in the future, whether it goes back up from here and then come back down, or come back up here and then come back down, doesn't matter. You should be looking for your sell setups, in all the cases, okay? So if it goes back up and then give you a sell setup, that'd be even better, right? You have a better risk to reward. Pound New Zealand. So this was the expected move last week. We did mention that wait for this to come back down and then give you your buy setup, right? Now, the way it has gone back up here, if you were in, I think one of you were in this buy since the week before, right? Now you must have taken the break even. If you haven't taken the break even, you must have taken the small profits, okay? So this move was more than 200 pips here, right? Expect this. At the moment, it's not going to go back up as yet, okay? We have a possibility of this structure for one more push down before it goes back up. Wait for this to give you a corrective structure here for one more push up, okay? This corrective structure is your confirmation now. If it does not come and the market keeps going sharp in here, stay away, okay? Stay away from this one and wait for this to go and break the low. Because pound dollar, we are expecting a down move. If pound, because in this move here, New Zealand dollar is a dominance factor in this pair, right? If pound becomes weaker and New Zealand becomes stronger, this will go back down, right? But then if pound is going down and New Zealand is also going down because of the dollar move, this pair might actually start to correct here for one more push up, okay? Aussie Chief. Guys, this is the pair where you need to keep an eye on this next week. Next week, this is one of your pair where you need to look for your buy setups. Okay, this buy setup would actually be a really good buy setup if you get in and then keep this trade for a longer term. Okay, structurally, we have a tendency to for this to go back and break this top, and eventually further up here. Okay, so look for your buy setups, and this one would be a really good setup. Next week, probably Monday or Tuesday morning, we would be looking for bigger term and long-term trade in this one. So we are seeing this structure as one more push up here, and then this push up can actually go back up the way I have just literally mentioned here, right? It can go sharp up as well. So what you need to know is structurally on the bigger time frame, this is going all the way up. Okay, this is going all the way up here before it goes back down again. Okay, So this is what I'm showing you on a bigger picture. That's what we are expecting. We are expecting market to go back up here for a bigger corrective structure before it goes back down. That's the structure for the next few years. Okay, that's what we are expecting. Daily, we are expecting the same thing. The structurally market is ready for us to go back up. This can actually go back up, as it is, right? It doesn't have to go back down all the way again one more time to break the low. But if it does break the low one more time, look for your buys again. Buys in this one would be wise. So this is one of the pair you want to keep an eye on, and this pair should be on your watch list next week. Pound chief, this exactly the same structure. So expect this to come back probably one more down here, break the low, and then go back up again one more time, right? It doesn't have to break the low, guys. Remember one thing, it doesn't have to break the low. For our traders, look for your strategy 3 and strategy 1 in this one, okay? So strategy 1 would be perfect in this one, but wait for it to hit the zone and then go for strategy 1, okay? So that would be good. If you find a decent setup in this one, post it on the Slack. If we see it, we will be posting as well. But remember, guys, anyone who would like to combine this one and keep it for the long term, that would be one of the good trades. Remember, we are expecting this to go back up here to break this top in the future, this top in the future, and potentially this top in the future. Okay. So that's another one of the pairs that you might want to keep an eye on. But remember this, if I were to choose this or pound chief, I would probably, Aussie chief or pound chief, I would probably choose Aussie chief, right? The reason why is because, like I said to you, this has a fundamental aspect. If because of the Brexit news, we are actually going down and open it right here, then you might want to stay away from this one, because if this goes back down sharp, you want to stay away from it. Okay, let me repeat it. If this goes back down sharp, stay away from this. Okay, but if it doesn't go back down sharp and then market goes back down slowly here and then slowly goes back down to break the low, if it breaks the low, even better. If it doesn't break the low but it's going slowly here, that will be your buy. Aussie New Zealand, you must see that this pair we have been keeping out for so long because we were waiting for the structure. Now we can see that the structure could be ready, right? In this structure, we have a possibility of this correcting here first. It's not, you just wait, okay? Remember, don't just go and look for your jump into the buys. Wait for this to pull back, probably for the next, half week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's going to correct, and then probably Thursday, Friday, it will be ready to push up, okay? So this one is going to push up as soon as New Zealand start to fall, okay? So that's the reason what we need to do is we need to wait for this to come back down correctively, and then after that, we need to see how market behaves and then gives us a buy setup in this. So for now, like I said, this structure does exist that it can go all the way down for this corrective structure, and then after that, go back up again, okay? But we need to see how market, this is going to be a deciding factor, this wave next Monday and Tuesday, whether it's going to go back up or whether it's going to go back down to break the low before it goes back up, okay? So keep an eye how the structure behaves. It will probably be ready by, if not Thursday, then next week, okay? New Zealand CAD. So this is what I was trying to show you guys, right? So this is where you would see the bigger structure. We are expecting market to come back down all the way here to this level, right? Those of you who are holding your trade, right, from these levels, take it out on break even and wait, okay? Remember, this has a tendency that this might actually be going back up here for a deeper correction before it shoots back down, okay? So you don't want to jump in just like that, or you want to, if you're holding your trades for a sell for a long, first of all, you shouldn't be, but if you are in any case, right, this is the time you take it out on break even and wait for the structure and then, sell it again. We are looking for a bigger corrective structure here, minimum something like this here before it goes back up, right? So this will become our bigger corrective structure. And then, we'll be looking for our buy setups. Next whole year, we'll be looking for a buys in this one. But for now, hopefully next week, keeping an eye on this one would be wise. Okay, so keep an eye on this one. It would be a really good trade if market gives us a small correction here, finish that correction, and then shoots down. Okay, so that's what we need to see. Do not jump in if you haven't got into this one. Most of our traders are already in from this top here. Okay, there was a strategy 2 and strategy 3. We have actually that triggered here, right at the top. So if you haven't entered at the moment, all of our traders are on risk-free trade at the moment. Okay, so if you're not in at the moment, wait for this. Waiting for this one would be wise at the moment. If you're not in, if you're in, put it to break even and sleep on it. If it takes you out, no worries. It's going to probably go back up, take you out, and then shoot back down again, right? So your worst case scenario should be break even at this point. So keeping an eye on this pound, New Zealand CAD, and Aussie Chief. Okay, would be wise. Pound Oz would be good if market gives you, because it's a volatile pair. So keeping an eye after the push up, one more down would be good on this one as well. Pound Oz. Okay. Right, guys. So these were the red list. Let me just go through your questions quickly. Do you have another class? Okay. Hi, T. Thank you for these webinars. They are very helpful to new traders like me. I'm trying to learn how to time the reversals you're describing are likely to happen on euro dollar. I noticed a double top on both the 4-hour and 1-hour chart. I was long and exited my position there. Brilliant. And this is usually a sell setup for my strategy, but was wrong at around 1.19 a few weeks ago. I have not gone short because I have not gone short because I'm unsure if this is end of the move. Any advice on what to look for? Any advice for me? Brandon, okay. Structurally, like I showed you, I hope that actually would have answered you when I was going through the bigger picture of euro dollar. So if you are already looking for your sell setup, you're in the right direction, right? If you are looking for, we do not look for double tops or double bottoms. It doesn't actually have any say for us. All what we see is when we have a double top or double bottom, we have a liquidity there. That's all, right? That's the only factor we see. But remember, if you are following your strategy and once in a while your strategy is giving you 1 point, like you were wrong around 1.19 as per your strategy, then you need to revisit that and back test your strategy again. Okay, so if something is working, you should not just be looking for something that is not working for you one time. You need to keep doing that in a consecutive trades, like take 10 trades, see what is the success ratio for that strategy. If that is more than 50% or 70%, that's your result. If you're actually taking 3 trades and 1 is wrong and 2 are right, you cannot judge that strategy onto just only 3 trades. It's a consecutive. Okay, it's the consecutive trades that you're taking using the same strategy, same technique, and then only you're finding out, okay, what is happening when the market is doing this in this scenario. Okay, hope that makes sense. Thank you very much, T. God bless you. Thank you, HP. Thank you for the knowledge. No worries. I like to check my positions daily, but I like trades that I can get in a good position and hold for a week. Would you consider a day trader or swing? So if you check your positions daily and you are actually keeping the positions and holding for a week or weeks, if it's a weeks, that's a swing trading, right, for us. But if you're keeping it on a daily and then you keep taking profits during the week, that's not daily. So that's not weekly swing trading. That is called daily trading for us, because when you are actually taking trades and taking that trade off, that's where you would actually be going in depth for the daily and then scalping. But for the swing trading, you would wait for the weekly, monthly structures and then keep the trade for good few weeks. Okay. Would you please show pair list on right side rather than member cams? Khalid, it's a setting from your side. On my side, it's on the right hand side. What you can do is you can probably click on the minus sign at the top, and that would actually reduce the list of all those people who have people's name who are joining this meeting, and then you would be only seeing the red list on your right hand side. So it's the settings from your side, from your computer. Hey, what do you think about yen pairs in general? The COT report, we have just reached the high for the year for long positions from the non-commercial side. Patrick, we are expecting yen pairs to correct downwards for the next week, right? And the week after probably shoot back up again, right? I'm not really keen to say that at the moment that the yen pairs are ready to go back down as yet. So I can see that more long position would sustain probably until the end of this year, and then the next year probably will see a downfall in those positions on your CO2 report. Between November 13 and 19th, over 10,000 yen longs were closed, even though the yen was very cheap. Yen has been in a very tight range over this period. In the following weeks, 10K long position were opened again. 10K in the current report is a kind of manipulation to show retail that they should expect a weak yen, and then the positive happens, opposite happens, right? Like I said to you, Patrick, that could be one of the possibility, because remember, when the market makers, they are trying to change the bigger direction, that's what they do. Okay, so this could be one of the indication. Like I said to you, first, if we see a down move next week, right, and a push up again the week after, that is sort of, that's where you would see at the moment they are manipulating the what do you call the buy positions right in here. And then if the buy positions, when the market is going down, you would be thinking like the COT report is not working properly, and then the week after it's pushing up here, and then you would be like, okay, what happened? So it's probably it's a delayed effect that you would see in the market from the COT report. Okay, so that, just keep that in mind, that for the next week, if you see something down move here and then a push up again here, that is the indication that, okay, market, they're making this market ready for a big down. CK, we have done the USD CAD. Great reply. Thank you, Kumar. T, can UG be ready to go down from now as two previous moves up being running flat? Okay, dollar yen. Yes, like I said to you, if we see a corrective structure next week here, expect this to shoot back down from here to break this low and this low even, right? Because we are expecting rest of the yen pairs to go down correctively next week. I won't be surprised if it crawl back up here and then push back down during the week, and then the week after, all of them will go back up together, right? So this sort of a movement that we are expecting from the yen pairs. Karthik, we have just mentioned Aussie Chief and New Zealand CAD. Keep an eye on these two. Both of them, Aussie Chief would be very, attractive for the next week. So keep an eye on that one more. Where do you see net gas going? Went down for most of last week. Can one expect it to continue its late bullish run, and to where? Gary, let's look at this one after I go through these questions. Heidi, every time you mention it will be ready by Monday morning or Tuesday afternoon. Which time zone are you referring to? When I'm mentioning it by Monday, Tuesday, what I'm expecting, because Monday usually is the day when they are manipulating the market, either the retail traders or market makers, they are taking the profits out or injecting it. So it's going to be mostly, a profit taking days, right? So Tuesday afternoon is when the New York market opens, right? There is a junction between the London Open and the New York Open. London market and the New York Open. That is the junction where you see the expected reversals happening, during the week. Would say the pound pair had made first step to down. I wouldn't just say that. It's too early to say that. But if market opens with a gap down, then yes, I would agree with you on that. Emmanuel, can we look at US oil? Yes, we can do that. Can you please repeat gold one more time? I joined a bit late, if it is comfortable. But in purple list, do analyze CAD yen and Chief yen for me, please. Yes, we'll do that. Khurram, for gold, like I said earlier, if you're in the buys already, because last week we did mention look for a buy. If you're in, just keep moving your stops or take 50% off. Expect this to correct next week and then push one more up again, right? Okay, Dixie going up. Should gold not going down? Abdurrahman, I did mention it to you last week as well, that it does not have to be, that if Dixie is going down or Dixie is going up, gold will be going down. I showed you actually the week before that. Look at this one in here. So here last week, so dollar is going down from here, right? After this, dollar keeps moving down here. And then gold, if you look at gold here, gold was also going down here, right? So if there was a correlation, why do you think that was happening, right? So there are few fundamental factors that affects gold, not only just dollar strengthening or weakening, right? Because it's a safe haven. So that's the reason you need to look at all, the bigger picture, right? Before you just only stick to correlation. Some fundamentals suggest gold to touch 1700. Does it look likely? At the moment, as of today, it doesn't look likely to me. It looks like it's correcting one more push up, and then the week after, if we see something like this, then we'll reanalyze the pair, and then we'll let you know. If this happens, then you're not expecting just to touch 1700. You would expect this to go further down even. Quick question. You said breaking top or bottom in some cases give you more confidence that it may go up or down. In Elliott terms, what does it mean? Remember, we are not just trading Elliott wave. Elliott wave has just only the wave counting, okay? So if, let's say, market goes back up, break the top or a bottom, for us, this is not only just the Elliott wave. We are actually looking at whole different structures, market structures, Dow theory, Elliott theory, order blocks, you name liquidity, anything that is actually working, right? We are actually taking the best things out of that system and injecting into the system and making it up into one system, which is actually working in all the cases. Hope that makes sense. That is the reason we are saying just breaking the top or the bottom does not have any sort of indication that market is going to reverse, okay? It's just the structure and the market movements and the structure, market structures that we see after breaking that. Would that complete the structure? If it does complete the structure, that's when we say to you, wait for this to break the top, wait for this to break the bottom, okay? Michael Tosi, hi T, how do you read news and which website? I'm curious why Alan said the banks said that the dollar is falling. Right, remember, banks are actually saying, because remember, they are looking for a bigger picture. I just showed you the bigger picture, that the bigger picture in the next few years, next year, we are seeing dollar to fall down below 85, okay, structurally. But first we need to see up movement here. Those people who would listen to the news, they would be actually go and then start selling the dollar. But we are expecting dollar to correct upwards or give us an up move first. And in that up move, they will lose a lot of money and they will lose faith, right? So that's where, when the market is actually going up here, news is telling you that dollar will be weakening, right? And we are saying that it will be going back up here to complete the structure. And then next year, after February, March, we'll be looking for a down move, big time down move, the whole year, right? So this is what's happening. So people, all the retail trader, they listen and they literally believe and then go and buy and or sell. It doesn't work like that. You need to know if the fundamental is coming and telling you something, you need to align that with some sort of your analytical skills, that what we teach to our people, that then only you have an edge in the market. And then when you have access, to the fundamentals and you're reading that and implementing it, this will make sense and this will give you benefit. Otherwise, just reading that what bank says will actually make you gonna lose money, a lot of money actually. Right? Can I access your Slack group if I pay a fee? Eric, I'm afraid we don't actually add anyone without them taking the course, right? So there won't be. We have plenty of people actually, they are willing to pay for just to be a part of the Slack group, but we don't. I'm afraid we don't do that. Do you consider weekly COT report an open position when you provide the guidance to the structure and buy sell setup? GK, no. So when we are actually analyzing the charts, we do not look for COTs. First, we look at the structures, and then after the structures, if market is giving us the fundamentals, that's when we actually come out and then tell you that these pairs you need to focus on more because they align with the fundamentals. But structures first. Hello T, please check BTC. I'm seeing fall in that, right? Okay, let's have a look at, please cover Euro New Zealand. We'll do that. Currently in the buy for New Zealand and Euro New Zealand, targeting 1.4 before getting out. What price do you see pound New Zealand going potentially? Right. So first of all, the first mistake you're making is if you're taking pound New Zealand buy and Euro New Zealand buy, what you're doing, you're already duplicating your risk, right? You don't want to do that. So either you take pound New Zealand or Euro New Zealand, because both are going to move in the same direction when they move, because New Zealand is the dominance factor in both, right? So that's what you need to, first of all, decide which pair you need to get out. If you are in the buys already, right? In one of those pairs, I would put both of the pairs on to break even and wait for the structures to finish. Pound New Zealand, we are expecting pound New Zealand to go back upwards. Like I said to you, this week is going to let us know how far this is going to go back upwards. If it gives us a corrected structure here, it will be pushing up minimum to break this top here. Okay, so that's what we are expecting. But first, we need to see this one happening here. This is going to be a confirmation for us. But for now, as of today, it does not look like it's going to go back up as it is like this, right? It looks more down than up at the moment. So wait for this to give you a corrective structure here first before you jump in. If you have got in, wait for this to correct and then put yourself on break even and wait. Can you please look at net gas and US oil? Yes, let's look at US oil and net gas. Also for gold, I see gold supply zone at 1860 to 1871 level. Do you think it can push gold down till 1835 level before continuing? Yes, it can. So Manish, it can. I'm expecting this to come back down here, and this can actually go back down to go back before it goes back up. Okay, so 35 is a very probable level because it's just only what, 3 points down, right? So expect this to come back down first to give you a corrective structure before it goes back up, and this can potentially go further down as well. Okay, remember, it can go below 1800 before it goes back up. Right, let's look at the purple pair. Let's look at the indices first, and then any of your requests on this sheet, on this list, and then we'll go for a green list. Okay. Right, Nifty, like I said last week, if you're in the buy, just keep moving your stops, and you need to wait for the market to take you out. Okay, let the market take you out. It is going to take you out eventually, very soon, but keep moving your stops. At the moment, you should be in a very deep profits, and if market comes back down here, let the market take you out. Do not close your trade at all. Okay, because it can keep pushing up, and eventually it will come back down. So at least you will not miss something like this here. Okay, so keep pushing your stop losses into the profits. Nasdaq. So Nasdaq, we were expecting this to go back up to break this top and then come back down before it goes back up. Instead, it keeps pushing up here. Remember, structurally, it needs to come back down. Okay, because this is going to be the biggest structure before it goes back up. But if market gives us something like this happening here, that changes everything. Okay, so if you're in the buys, keep moving your stops. If you're not in the buys, wait. I would wait for this to come back down before it goes back up again. But then if I see a sell setup, it would be actually better, because then I can actually keep moving my stop in the direction of the trend before it goes back up. Okay, so expect this to give you sort of a pullback, a deeper pullback, and then that pullback might actually eventually become an impulse for one push up. Okay, US 30. It's the same sort of structure as well in this one. Like we mentioned last week, that we should be looking for a down move after the break of this. Instead, market keep pushing up and up, and here it needs to come back down here very, very soon, probably if not next week, the week after. Market is waiting for something. I can see clearly here that this is not something that that looks like it's going to shoot up like this here, right? It doesn't look like that. But because the rest of the indices had these structures where it needed to go back up before it goes back down, so probably that's why what is pushing the market. Expect this to keep pushing up. If you're in the buys, move your stops. If you're not in the buys, wait for the sell setup. It needs to come back down before it goes back up now, right? At this point in time, I wouldn't look for any buys. I would wait for the sells, or if I'm a swing trader or a day trader, I would actually, for the day traders, selling is the opportunity. For the swing traders, wait for the sell setup to finish and look for your buys, because this buy is going to go all the way up again one more time. And this time it's not going to just stop 30,000, or it's probably going to go back all the way. I won't be surprised if it goes and breaks 35,000. Okay, but first wait for this to come back down, and this might actually be a very sharp down. So probably putting this, the orders might be actually right thing. But remember, it's indices. You want to keep an eye on your risk. SPX, right, same structure again in this one. And I'm, like I said to you, I'm expecting this to come back down as well. All the indices looks like they are going to come back down, either a sharp move down or something like this. Okay, we need to see something bigger coming down here and then go back up again, right? For swing traders, wait for this to finish and then look for buys. For a long-term day traders, you should be looking for a down move here, correction down move here, correction down here, and then after that, probably jump in for the buys again, right? At this point in time, if you're in the buys, last week, I think we mentioned that anytime, if you're in the buys, just keep pushing your, stop losses. So if you're already in at the moment and you're still in, now is the time to take at least 70 to 80% off and then leave the remaining on a deeper profit, not on break even, leave it on deeper profit, okay? And wait for this market to come back down. It's going to go back down sharp. I don't know what would be the reason, but it will be. For us, we are not any more interested in the buys. DAX, right? So DAX has already, okay, let's see. So DAX does look like it's going to come back down and then go back up here. So I won't be surprised if this starts to give you a corrective structure, one more push down, a deeper down move before it goes back up again here. But it does not look like it's ready to go back down here as it is. So if you're in the buys from these levels, keep moving your stops. DAX does look like it has more up to go in this. UKX, FTSE, we did mention last week that we are expecting a push up. Most of you who are in this, if you are not in the buy from here, then definitely there is something wrong. Okay, if you trade FTSE and you're not in these buys, there is definitely something wrong happening. Okay, because we did mention it to you, we gave you this call. Buy this, it's going to go minimum to break this top, and this top, and eventually this top, and all the tops are taken now. Okay, now structurally we are ready, right? So at this point in time, if you see any sort of sell setup, right, you need to put your stop loss, just above that. As soon as you see market moving down, you let the market take you out. Okay, I can't see this one reversing as yet. I can see this one correction, one more push up, correction, one more push up, a further more up move to go. I won't be surprised if it goes and touch 7,000 again, right? If it does that, that's the time you should take the whole thing off. Okay, right, DJI. Right, this has more up to go as well, and for now, wait for this to come back down. It does not look like it's going to come back down as yet, but if you're in the buys, keep your stop loss very tight and let the market actually take you out now, right? If it does take you out, you should be in a very decent profit. Wait for this to pull back here and then go back up again here. But this pullback might actually end up being a very decent one before it goes back up. Okay. US oil. Do we have anything else in here? Oh, okay. I think that's probably all. US oil. Let's look at US oil now. Right. So US oil, like we said last week, we were expecting a pullback and then push up again. I was expecting personally a deeper pullback, something like this here, right? But instead, market gave us something like this, right? But no worries. If you're in the buys, just keep moving your stops. Remember, do not forget the bigger picture. The bigger picture is you're going above 80. Okay, that's the bigger picture. Keep that in your mind when you're selling this. Okay. So if you're selling this, you need to know that where's the bigger picture. The bigger picture is to the upside. We need to expect this pullback before it goes back up, right? Like we did here. See that one? That's what we were expecting market from here. From these levels here, we were saying anytime market needs to give us a pullback. And that was the pullback here. Can you see that? Now, expect something like this here, then push back again. Okay. So this is where you would enter again. If you are not entered here, that's exactly what we said. Below 35, anytime gold goes, oil goes, go for your buys. And if you're still holding that, keep holding that. Okay. And take profit above 70. That will be your doubling your investment. Okay. For now, wait for this pull back and then jump in again if you want to. Net gas. Right, net gas, last week you said, expect this to pull back, one more push up to break the top and then move your stop. If you have listened to me, that would have actually saved you sort of either a break even or a small loss, right? Now, this structure, if you look at the bigger structure needs to go back up, okay? This needs to go back up. If you are in the cells, first of all, you shouldn't be in the cells. If you're in the cells, keep moving your stops because it doesn't look like it's ready to go back up as yet. Expect this to give you a corrective structure, one more push down and then go back up. Probably this corrective structure before we go back up again, right? Remember the structure that we are expecting was at this point in time, we were expecting one more push down before it goes back up. Instead, market went back up and then came back down. So I won't be surprised if it comes back down to these levels before it goes back up. Okay, so waiting is the right time for you. If you're looking for your buys, and you should be in the buys from these levels here, remember. Okay, from these levels. So these are the levels where you should be looking for a buys, looking for your buys somewhere from here, somewhere, somewhere from here. Last week we said that. So if you're in these buys, and you're still, and if you're in a small drawdown in this one, that's not a big deal. You need to know where the bigger picture is. The bigger picture is you're going up, right? So if I'm going to the weekly here, you're going minimum up here. Remember, like I said to you on the FTSE, you're going minimum to break this top here this time. Okay, so wait for this. 5 should be your target for the long term. Even if it pulls back, shouldn't bother you. Right. Okay, so I'm now going to look for your requests, guys. Any requests that you have, put them down, and then I'm more than happy to go through them before we call it a day. Okay, we have 30 minutes because I usually tend to keep my session, for 2 hours, because above 2 hours, it takes more time for it to render. And then, those people who can't join live, I want them to actually, see the videos before the market opens. Okay. Right, it's loud and clear. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to the top. If I miss anything, do put them down. I'm more than happy to go through them again. So silver, let's have a look at silver. Silver, same structure like gold. Expect this to come back down, correction, one more down before it goes back up again, right? This does not have to go all the way up here. This just needs to go back up here, and then after that, it can go back down again one more time, right? Structurally, it can go correction, one more push up. That's the next 1.5 week for you. Team, okay, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Okay. Right. John said, could you talk about TWs? Okay, let's have a look. Right, let's look at theta. John, you asked me to look for this one. Wait for this to give you a corrective structure for one more push up. It's going to go back up here, to this sort of level here. Okay, so expect a corrective structure downwards first and then push up again. This could be a time taking, factor here. So just do not expect it to go sharp. Okay, expect it to take some time here. I won't be surprised if it takes the whole month and then go back up here until, we go to the next year. Right. I'm just looking at anything which is in the purple list first, and then we go to the green list. Okay. Red is fine. Red is fine. Euro New Zealand. Let's look at Euro New Zealand. Right, so Euro New Zealand, it did push up last week as expected. The weight is going up. I'm not really keen to keep that trade. If you're in the buys at the moment, just keep moving your stops into a deeper profit. Expect this to correct here, one more push up here. And as soon as market breaks this top here, take at least 70 to 80% off. Okay, do not keep that for long, because after that, it can actually go back one more push down here, or can go for a deeper correction before it goes back up again. Okay, so expect this to give you a corrective structure first and then go back up again. But for me, the weight is going up here. I'm not really keen that until I see something, something like this here. I'm not really keen to keep this trade for a buy. Okay, so just keep moving your stops, and you should be in a risk-free trade if you have entered last week. Right. Okay, euro dollar. Right, guys, I'm just looking at your questions. Anything that I can find on this list, I'm just going through that. Dollar we have done that, and net gas we have done that. USD Mexican. Let's look at you. Please do USD Mexican analysis. I followed your analysis on this and US30 from last 4 weeks, and it did not pan out as hoped. Have you changed your bias on USD Mexican as it has dropped more and more since you hope that it will move up but fail? Would dollar continue to be weak as it seems like it? Where is the bottom of the dollar for now, if you can predict? Right. I can't see your name in here. It's just iPhone, but let's have a look at it. USD Mexican. Remember, guys, I showed you a bigger picture a few weeks ago, right? I did mention it to you that we are expecting USD Mexican to go and break this to this level here, below 16, right? That's what the big time target. You see, at the moment, still you have 3,000 plus pips going down, right? The reason we are expecting this to go back, if you're in the cells, you should have actually been moving your stops. When we are saying we are looking for a buy setup, we are expecting this to go back up here, then come back down before. And that's the reason we are not really keen to keep the long-term cells in this at the moment, right? Because the way it is going at the moment, it does not look like that it's going to go back further down without giving us a pullback, right? And that pullback I'm talking about is a weekly pullback, which means it's a bigger structure. Okay, so this bigger structure is something like here. So for example, if we are actually getting next week a corrective structure here, we will be sellers. But if we are not looking for, if we are seeing a sharp move up here, you should be in this buy move here. And probably most of the time when market does something like this, you will not be getting a chance to get into the trade because it will be a sharp move up here. Okay, so this is the reason. For us, we are expecting this structure to complete, whether to give us a bigger corrective structure, something similar like this here, this one here, right? Before it goes back down further. If it keeps pushing down further from here, there's no point you want to keep this trade, because if you keep this trade, who says that it can't do something like this? And before it goes back down, Mark, in these sort of structures, you need to be very, very careful. These are very, very volatile pairs. Okay, they have a tendency to actually move the market, you know, haphazardly, right? You wouldn't even expect the structure to finish. Now, this structure that we are seeing in here is not the structure that we would like to see when the market is going something like this here. We are expecting this to go back down here, right? All the way down below 16. At the moment, it's 19.76. First, it needs to give us a structure to sell this thing, right? And that structure will only be possible when we have a pullback. Whether we have a sharp move up to complete this corrective structure and then one more down, or we have a bigger corrective structure here for one more push down here. And that is the structure we are expecting. If dollar is getting weaker, it needs to keep pushing down here and down here. We are expecting dollar to reverse soon. If dollar is reversing soon for a bigger corrective structure, expect this to correct further up as a deeper pullback. Okay. So this is what you need to remember. I went into detail of this. The reason why I went, because I've seen most of the people in these sort of pairs, you need to be 100% right before you actually get into the market, because once you're wrong, it will never give you a chance to actually come out without taking the loss. So that's the reason you need to be very careful. Okay. And US30, let's look at US30 now. So with the US30 from this level here, we are saying that we need to look for a buy setup, right? And if you would have been buying from here, from exactly from this level, you would be in a decent profit, right? In this one here, in this move going up at the moment, right? So this move going up here, this is due for a correction here at the moment, right? The reason why I'm saying this is due for a correction, it needs to give you a corrected structure here before it pulls up further more in this one, right? It's just accumulating this one in this structure here for one more push down before it goes back up. Whether it starts from here or whether it's give you a corrective structure, one more push up, break this top, and all the tops, and then come back down, that does not change a bigger corrective structure. But if you're buying from here, you should know that you should have bought from here already. You should have bought from here already. You should have bought from here already. Now you should be only looking for when to take profit. Okay, hope that makes sense for you, iPhone. Heidi, every time you mention it will be ready. Okay, perfect. That's been answered. Gold, BTC. Let's look at BTC, guys. Before we go to BTC, let's look at this one. Gold, silver, we have done that. Just looking at anything which is in this pair. So please, USD Chief. Let's look at USD Chief. Remember, USD Chief is one of the other pair as well, where we were expecting a buy, but instead market keeps pushing down. Remember, this is not the structure, right? This was a sharp move up here for us. This is not a structure we would like to see if market is giving us, a sell setup, right? So if it's a sell setup, we would like to see something different. In this sort of scenario, there is no way, if somebody is telling you I was selling it, yes, we were selling, some of our traders were selling it, not from here, but from the bigger picture from here, right? They've been selling it from here, from these levels, from here, these are the sells you want to accumulate. From here, this is a sell, right? But if you're looking for your sell setups from these levels here, there was no sell setup for this one going down, right? So if you are looking for a long-term trade on this one, we do not expect this to go back up now, since it has gone and broken this low one more time. We are not expecting this pair to go back up as yet, probably next year. Yes. So expect this pair actually next week to pull back up here. It needs to pull back up, give you this corrected structure for one more push down. Okay, so any move up here would just be completing this corrected structure for one more push down. Okay, we were expecting from here before that market might actually give us one more push up here to complete this corrective structure for one more push down, but instead it just went up here, small up move here, then came back down here. So that's fine, right? This is just a change of structure. This market is actually, USD Chief is actually in a very strong downtrend, and it's because of dollar. Dollar is very weak, guys, at the moment, right? So if any sort of dollar pairs you're buying at the moment, you need to wait and look for your DXY before you actually buy this, okay? Because dollar is going to reverse very soon. Once dollar reverses, all the rest of the pairs, you would see that, which is a dollar, primary, would be moving in the same direction, but probably the double the speed with the dollar, okay? But they will be moving very soon. Right, US 30, year 30, we have done that, Casey. Can you please repeat gold in one, we have done that, okay. It's Dixie, perfect. Quick question, okay, that's fine. We have gone through that one. COC report, we have gone through that one. Nat gas, we have gone through. US oil, CAD chief. This was the CAD chief last week, guys. So last week we were saying that expect this to come back, go back down, up, and then from here, correction here, and then one more push down. And it did actually do that. If you were in the sells, you should have actually taken profits, because we have actually updated the charts on TradingView when it was going down. If you didn't, take the trade off. Take the trade off as soon as the market opens. Even if it goes back down, doesn't matter. Expect this to correct here, one more push to up again one more time, because now this move up here is going to go back all the way up to break this top one more time. Okay, so this is where you would be heading now in the future, right? So because most of the chief pairs looks like they are getting actually, they're going up. So that's why it will be pushing up as well with them. I really hope that New Zealand Euro CAD, all of you have taken this one, right? This buy from here. And then at this point in time, that's what we said, break of this, take profit. That's what we tell you guys. Remember, when we see this, why do you think we said this top and not this top? It could have gone to this top as well, right? But this top, I specifically mentioned that take at least 70 to 80% off, right? That's the reason, because this would have could have happened, and this did happen actually, right? Right. Okay. What else do we have in here? Gold is fine. We have done that. Chief yen. Chief yen is good. We said last week we are expecting a push up to break this top and eventually this top. Now just keep moving your stops. If you're not in, wait for this to pull back here and push up one more time again. It's going to go back up to break this top in the future. Probably, if not this week, probably next week. So correction, one more push up, and this one. BTC we have done. Okay, BTC and ETH, we will do that. XPT, do we have XPT here? Okay, probably it's on the other one. USD ZAR. USD ZAR is also like USD Mexican, guys. Remember, both of them have a tendency for long-term structures to the downside. Wait for them to pull back up before you actually sell them, right? Euro New Zealand, we have done that. BTC, Dollar Chief, Mexican T, please go over BTC. Yes, we'll do that. Right. Okay, Amazon, Netflix. Yes, let's go through green list now, because I can see that most of your queries. Hello, please look for your CAD, also bigger picture. Andres, Thanks. Perfect. And just like I said to you in the Euro CAD, let's go through the bigger picture again. So Euro CAD bigger picture is always going to be this. So what we are expecting in the longer term, we are expecting this to go back all the way down here. Correction, one more down here. Correction, one more down, then go back up. Okay, we need to see this one going back down further. At the moment, it does not look like it's going to go back down very smoothly because it's going very slowly here. Expect this to keep going down, correction, one more down, correction, one more down here, and then we will let you know. But for now, bigger picture is downside. If you have been in the buy, you should have taken profit from here. If you are still in the buys, you either would have taken a break even or a small profit, right? Because it's going to pull back again one more time before it goes back down again. Okay, so wait. Corona still expanding in US. Can crude oil touch 30, 33 again? Abdurrahman, it's really, it can, anything can happen, but even if it does that, you should be just buying. Put your orders there, and then if it does that, you should be in the buys, okay? But not that I'm expecting at the moment. USD Chief Yen, CAD-Yen, let's have a look at that one. CAD-Yen, we did expect a push up. It did go back up. Next week, expect this to pull back down. If you would have been in the buy, take profit, wait for this to pull back down next week. Euro GBP was good last week. We did mention that let it go back up to break the top again one more time, and this top, if you would have been in the buy, taking profit now would be wise, because expect this to, I can see this one going back up further here and then probably going for a down move before it goes back up. So expect this to be a deeper correction. I won't be surprised if it keeps down, like deeper down before it goes back up, come back down. This is going to be the sort of movement here in the next few weeks. T, would you mind breaking gold more in details, please? Sure, let's have a look at. So gold, guys, I've already gone through that one in detail, but let's have a look at it one more time. So gold on the bigger scale, we are expecting gold to give us a corrective structure here before one more push down, correction here, one more push down. We are expecting gold to go down all the time, right? Remember, if market is going to go back up from here, you would not expect this wave, the wave that we are expecting here, to be slower. If the next wave is not a slower wave, it's a sharp wave, expect this to go all the way up here, to even break this top and this top, right? Not that at the moment we are expecting to break this top, okay? But if it does break this top, that's a change of a bigger picture, okay? But we will let you know. Right, could you please look at XLB and PBW? Sure, okay, Euro Oz. Guys, let me just quickly look for anything from this one, this list here, and then after that we can purple list, and then we can go through your queries again. So first, Euro Oz, guys, last week we mentioned that let it push back up. It did go back up here. Expect this to come back down. Any sell setup you take, get from this one, keep moving your stops and let it go back all the way down to break this low, okay? So minimum, like I said to you, it's going to go minimum 1.61. Okay, Aussie Yen, let's have a look at Aussie Yen here. Aussie Yen, we said last week that keep moving your stops in the buys. If you're in the buys, take 70 to 80% off, wait for this to pull back here and then go back up. All the yen pairs looks like they're going to pull back something like this here and then go back up next week, okay? If it pulls back up again this week, the next week, they're coming back big time down, okay? Right, what else? XPT, let's have a look at XPT. We don't have XPT in this one. Yeah, I can't see this one here. To give one advice, I'm holding physical gold. Is it a correct time to sell and can buy next year somewhere June as gold will go down? Yes, HP, my suggestion, I'm not, giving you a suggestion. Remember, this is not a financial advice. For the financial advice, I would just simply say to you, when the gold goes up, probably in the mid of December, selling it and buying it at the cheaper price would be wise. Okay, but be very, careful with what you're going to do. That's what I can see in terms of the chart. US oil, perfect. USD dollar. Okay, that's fine. Like I can see that most of these pairs I've gone through. Let's go to the green list now. Right. So first of all, we have New Zealand SGD. Okay, Shamraj, you should be looking for your sell setups now because it looks like it's going to go back up here correctively, one more push down here, correction big time, and then go back down again. Okay, so looking for your sells for the longer term would be wise in this one. Dollar SGD. Yeah, it's going to come back up very soon. It's going to come and give you minimum this sort of structure here, minimum. So expect this sort of structure. And then once this structure finishes, look for your sells again. Okay. First buy, keep moving your stops. And then once the corrected structure finished, look for your sells. Pound SGD. Right. Okay. This would have been actually a very good sells if we get it this last week. But I can see that this pair has a great potential for one more push down, and this push down is not going to stop here to break this low, this low, this low. It's going to go all the way to break this low here this time. Okay, so keep an eye on this one. Any sell setup on this one would be really good. Japan 225. Yeah, looks up next week. Keep pushing. It looks up next week. So if you're in the buys, keep pushing the stop loss. It's going to go break the top one more time, and then as soon as it breaks the top, take another 50% off and leave the 50% in. Aussie 200. Okay, you're saying Aussie 200 Oz Oanda. Okay, let's have a look. Aussie 200. AU 200. Right, I don't have that chart, so probably you might want to look at where you're finding this chart, but I can see this one in terms of structures. It needs to pull back here for you. It needs to give you a corrective structure, something like this here, before it goes back up one more. It does need to go one more up after this move here, okay? And before you go back for a deeper move down. Right, okay, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Okay, I'm just looking at anything that I've not gone through yet. Right, New Zealand yen. New Zealand yen, I would stay away from this one. It looks like they are going to correct as well, but Aussie yen is, like I mentioned, it's exactly the same sort of structure for New Zealand yen as well. So looking for a down move in the yen pairs next week, but be careful, this is going to be a corrective move, okay? So it might be actually taking time and taking out and going breaking the tops and bottoms because it's a corrective structure that we are expecting. I see DXY June exactly as forecasted. Thank you, Yusuf. Perfect. Okay, what else do we have in here? Right, guys, if I'm missing anything, please put them down because I'm going through all these your messages. So BTC is one of the pairs that everybody is asking us to look at. Right, it did break the top, didn't it? Right, so that's fine. So now it broke the top here. Expect this to come back down, right? It needs to come back down now because it has actually given us this structure. Expect this to go back up here, one more down here before it goes back up and then push back down here, right? This is sort of a structure that we are expecting. If market gives us this structure, do not miss this sell because this sell might actually go back all the way down, right? But remember, you're going up from all the way here. That was sort of expected. Now the structure, bigger structure, has actually given us indication, now we can be looking for sell setups. Okay, but after this structure, keep an eye on this structure. After that, we'll be looking for sells. This looks like this is going to push up first again. So wait for the corrected structure, one more push up again in this structure. Okay, it's going to go back to break the top one more time. I can see that happening. Right, USD, okay, US Treasury, we have done that. I joined a bit late. Okay, we have done that. Okay. CAD pay of fees. Okay, that's fine. Yes, 𝗘𝐃𝗿𝐆, I can see that silver also going up. Do you see too after a pullback, maybe after this month? Yes, probably possible. Like I said to you, even next week after a correction, if it pulls up, I won't be surprised because that's what we are expecting at the moment. Actually, we have done that. Okay, a request to go through the next list and then queries, please. A request again to please go through the next list and then queries, please. This, like last few weeks, would be more productive. I didn't get you. A request again to please go through the next list and then queries, please. This list, this like last few weeks would be more productive. Perfect. Okay, I understand. So going forward, guys, as per your suggestions, I'll be going forward the red list and the purple list before I check your queries. Okay, so we can look at Chief Yen. Okay, we have done that. IT, may I ask you to look at BTC on a bigger picture? I'm waiting to go at lower 35 in the next 1 to 1.5 year. Dimitri, yes, it is possible, but remember, you need to keep an eye on this one. If it goes below 3,500 this time, then yes, we are expecting after that, we are expecting BTC to shoot a lot higher than 20,000. Okay, if it goes 3,500. But yes, it is a possibility in the structure. Why I'm saying that is because since we are here on the BTC, because this might be actually a possibility in this structure. Okay, because this is the only structure we have at the moment. If it goes back down here again one more time, this is going up, and this going up will be not stopping at 20,000. It might be going up all the way up to further 50,000, 60,000 plus. Please help to have a look at BTC. Okay, that's done. CAD, you've done. Chief Yen, XPT. Let's look at XPT. A lot of people are asking about XPT here. Right, XPT, it needs to go up, guys. Remember, I told you that before that we are going bigger term on this one here, right? Expect any pullback here, buy it. Expect any pullback, buy it, because now this time they need to actually keep gold below platinum. That's how it's supposed to be. Okay, platinum should be expensive than gold because of the mining cost and everything. So that's what they are going to actually now. They are going to balance it out. This time it's going to go back up here, correction up here, correction up here, like that. Okay, so expect this to go in the longer term. You're expecting it to go above 2,000. Okay, it's done, it's done, it's done. Please go over BTC, it's done. Have a look at this, done. Please cover Euro New Zealand, STI, Yes Bank. Okay, STI and Yes Bank, we can do that. Euro New Zealand, we have done that. That's your STI here. Right, so that's what was expected. A push up again. Now we can't go below daily here. Yep, so expect this to give you a corrected structure here and push up again. It's not going to probably go back down as yet, but first expect this for the next week or two. Expect a pullback here before it goes back up again. Can't see Yes Bank in here. Right, it says it's in here. I can't see it here. I will find out later on, and then we can probably go that. Okay, here we go. Found it. Right, so for Yes Bank, yeah, expect this to correct here as well, and then after one more push up, it's going to go back minimum to break this top minimum. Okay, and then after that we'll see what happens next. But for now, it's just correction and up. STA is on Amazon, Netflix, Amazon. Let's have a look at Amazon. So Netflix is here. Right, look for your buys in this one, guys. Remember, this is going to be a really good buy if it goes back up from here. Even if it goes back up, come back down to break this low and this low one more time, look for your buys in this, because this buy might actually end up being a really good buy, because this time is going to go break this top, all-time top in this one. Okay, so Amazon. Yeah, it looks a bit messy here. It's sort of a similar structure, but this more looks like it's going to go back down, go back up, come back down before it goes back up. So this is sort of a structure taking time in here in this structure, in this zone here, before it goes back up. So wait for this until it goes back below 2,900. Looking for once it does that, look for your buys. Then that will be a really good risk to reward for you for a long term. At EuroCAD, we have done that. Corona, okay, that's fine. You have done that, XLP and BPW. I'm not sure what that is, but let's have a look if that we can do that. XLP. Okay, I'm assuming that would be this TSX. And then PVW. Okay. Right, this is going to give you a corrective structure, one more push down and then go back up again. Remember, looking for buys in this would be really good. Once market does something like this here, right? Up and down and then go back up. Let it go break this low one more time and then look for your buys. That would be good. PVW. Okay, wait for this to pull back. This is not more than enough pullback here. So expect this to give you a corrective structure, one more push down and then go back up. If it keeps pushing up and break the top, expect this to come back down deeper, right? Something like this or something like this here. This is not enough for one more heavy push up, okay? Euros, we have done that. Could I have a setup for Euro Oz? Could I have a setup for, okay. I don't get what you so Euro Oz, if you're looking for your setup, look for your push down in this one. So you should be looking in the direction of a sell at the moment in the Euro Oz. I can't give you a setup, but that's where is the direction you should be trading in. Can we look at Aussie New Zealand, please? Thank you for your guidance and assistance on my trading journey. Jewel, I think we have already gone through the Aussie New Zealand. Please watch the recording when I send it to you. It's already more than 2 hours. DAX, we have done that. USD Chief done. XPT done. Key sites. 𝐒𝐔𝐁 technology. Let's have a look at 𝐒𝐔𝐁 technology. right? If you're in the buys, this is the time to take profit, because now I can see that this is going to pull back deeper this time, right? This is looking for a bigger corrective structure here, bigger corrective structure, okay, before it goes back up again. So looking for your, if you're looking for a buy, this is not a right investment. If I'm honest with you, can you please go over your quick. Ladipo, I've actually gone through that one. So please watch in the recording. I'll be sending you the recording shortly. XPT, we have done that. Aussie yen, we have done that. DAT, need one advice I'm holding. Okay, that's fine. Pound CAD, we have, okay, pound CAD, we haven't done that. We can do that. May I ask you, that's fine. We have gone through that one. See that we have done that. XTZ, okay, let's have a look at that. Right, this looks down, you know, to me at the moment. So expect this to go back up here, one more down, push up here, and then go back down here. Okay, so this is a sort of a corrective structure for one more push down. I can see that. I wouldn't be surprised if this keeps going down from here only. Okay, so if you're looking for your buy setups, wait. It's not ready as yet. It needs to go back down first. Okay, please go over BTC. We have done that. Pound dollar already. Yes, we have done that. Gabriel, pound dollar already. We will be sending you best place to enter this week. Phil, Aussie Chief, and look for pound Oz and New Zealand CAD. Thank you so much, T. You're the best. Thank you, Ladipo. Your target for US oil is 2021. Your target for US oil. So Casey, the target for US oil, whether it's a 2021 or 2022, our target is above 85. Okay, precisely 84. Hi, have you done pound dollar already? Yes, Gabriel, we have done that. Yes, bank was up in the green list. Yes, GK, we have gone through that one. XRP, all right, XRP, I think that was in the purple list. We'll go through that one. Oh no, I think it's here, yeah. So XRP, I can see this one moving up again one more time. Once market goes back up to these levels here, to 70 above, keep moving your stops after that, because it can actually become a bigger corrective structure for one more push up. Okay, but structurally, like I mentioned to you, I think last week or the week before that, let it go back up to minimum 50, and it's actually gone up to 50 now. Top 10 or 20, please move up for US Bank. Yes, it's fine, thank you. GK, you may want to share with others that Zoom call recording can be downloaded like I do it every week. Google for how do you going down, it becomes literally part of the browser Chrome. Okay, thank you, T. It was good like always. Best regards. Thank you, Daniel. Can you do TLT? Yes, we can do TLT. Right, where is TLT here? Okay, expect this to give you a corrective structure here upwards and then push back one more down here. I would not be looking for any buys until I break this low one more time. Okay. Aussie New Zealand, we have done that. And when you give the email, click off your recording. Okay, that's fine. Help to offline download. Okay, TLT, please. We have done that. So no limit of record. Okay, thanks. TLT, please. Okay, a link for extension. Okay, can you send this link in the email when you send the recording? Will help all our members always help. At GK specifically, we have actually put that down as not to download it. So we would not recommend, or we do not suggest anyone to actually download it. That's why the download is not option is not on for this recording. Okay, so yes, you shouldn't be first of all doing that, and if you're doing it, make sure that you are doing it just for the knowledge purposes. Okay, guys, with that note, I think I've actually gone through most of your requests in here. Have a great trading week next week, and if you have any sort of Brandon raised hand. Hi Brandon, just go for it, please go for it. Have you got any questions? I was on Netflix, please, before closing. Kumar, we have already done that. When I send you the recording, you will be seeing that Amazon and Netflix both have gone through today. Okay. So Brandon, if there is any questions, please put them down. You raised hand. I missed the session need recording. Yes, Brandon, we'll be sending it to you right after. Okay. All of you who have actually raised hands, please put your questions down. I can see Abdul Rahman has hands up. I can see Brandon now, he clarified it. I can see Zequel have raised hand. Guys, quickly, if any questions, put them down before I call it a day, because I'm going to really close the session. The recording will be massive. Okay, fine. I assume that this must have been a mistake. Thanks, you answered above. Brilliant. Thank you, everyone. Have a great trading week, and I shall see you next Sunday. Thank you. Bye-bye.